Thank you very much for listening to this week's talk on the Sedra of Haazinu, that we read the Shabbos before Yom Kippur, which is also called Shabbos Teshuvah or Shabbos Shuvah, and the period of the Yomim Noraim, the culmination of the 10 days of Teshuvah. We are escalating, and the intensity is increasing. And on the one hand, we are concentrating so hard on improving ourselves and trying to really reflect on the value of life, the meaning of life, and appreciate the gift of life and really make ourselves the best people that we possibly can. This is an incredibly concentrated time, an intense time of year in a very cleansing way, but there is an element of awe and trepidation as we come closer to the great day of Yom Kippur. And the themes and the words of the Sedra of Haazinu are so perfectly aligned with this need that we have to have the best preparation that we possibly can for the pending Yom Kippur. And if we look first at the structure, this is Shirat Haazinu, this is a song. And in the Torah scroll, it's not going to be the usual paragraphs, but it is written out in this stanza like form over 2 pages. That's the first page over there of the Shira, and then here we have the second page. And the special nature of song versus the prose, it is something that comes from a deeper point, and this is Moshe Rabbeinu's last minute, as it were, speech to the Jewish people. Although for the past 5 weeks of his life, he has been giving over from Rosh Chodesh Shvat right until the 7th of Adar, when Moshe Rabbeinu passes away. But now it is the very last day of his life. And as we ponder that and reflect upon our own prayers, we are saying Zochreinu L'chaim, remember us for life. We insert into the Amida, the standing silent prayer, a prayer that we never usually tamper with, but we have these insertions over the Aseret Yemei Teshuvah, these 10 days of Teshuvah. And so when we can perhaps connect our approach, our knowledge of the transience of life, of the fact that everything is in Hashem's hand, with the reality that Moshe Rabbeinu is experiencing as he is delivering this speech on the last day of his life. And there are many unique features about this song of Haazinu. The word Haazinu, the root ozen, as well as ear, izud, is balance. And I think on the one hand, although it contains very austere warnings, perhaps some of the predictions that if we look at the history books, we can see that these have actually come to pass. But there is the reassurance, there is this idea that we are able to emerge from whatever we have to endure, because when we realize and we rectify our mistakes and we come close to Hashem and we observe the words of his Torah, then the survival of Am Yisrael against all the odds is something that must give us hope and encouragement. And I think that applies to us on a personal level as we approach Yom Kippur, and on a national level as we contemplate the arc of history, which is something that features very prominently in this Sedra of Haazinu. So if we look at the message of Moshe Rabbeinu, how he is putting his life, if you like, and that is something that we can use as the lens that we can achieve the right perspectives and get the right encouragement to strengthen ourselves. Because although every person in the physical form is going to face the same process that Moshe Rabbeinu is facing at this point in his life. But equally, Moshe Rabbeinu is always Moshe Rabbeinu. He lives eternally as Moshe, our teacher. And yes, he physically passes away shortly after he says the words in this week's Sedra. Yet he lives on. We start the morning, Torah Tziva Lanu Moshe, Morasha Kehilas Yaakov. He is eternally Moshe Rabbeinu. And we too in our lives can find the ways that we achieve some measure of eternity by following the precepts in the Torah, by elevating ourselves, by realizing that there is more to life than the physical external aspects of our lives that are so important for the duration of our lives, but still it just gives us this very broad perspective, and Moshe Rabbeinu is helping us deal with these ultimate realities, and equally important, he's helping us to infuse our own lives with that meaning, with that service of Hashem, which is the key to immortality. And the key themes that we find in this week's Sedra that are so vital as part of a pre-Yom Kippur message are, first of all, looking at the environment, if you like. The Sedra opens that Moshe Rabbeinu calls as witness with the knowledge of his imminent demise. Haazinu shamayim va'adabera v'sishma ha'oretz imrefi. Listen, O heavens, and be my witness, for I will speak. V'sishma ha'oretz imrefi. Let the earth hear and witness the words of my mouth. And so, given the transient nature of human beings, Moshe Rabbeinu is reminding us that when we are connected to heaven, to Shamayim, and to earth, and each one of us during our lives, as we, on the one hand, are physical people, yet on the other hand, we are striving to reach higher levels. And this is something that is so apparent on the day of Yom Kippur, because we are people, we are human beings, but our behavior on Yom Kippur is reminiscent of angels of heaven. And in this one day, we are perhaps carrying out the words in this opening pasuk of Haazinu. And so when we tap into the eternal surroundings of our world, then we are losing our ego, our selfish, our narrow, limited, constraining bonds, and we are identifying with something that is much bigger than ourselves. And I think that this is something that is very particular to the Sedra of Haazinu. The essential message that we are connected to our past, and we take the lessons, we take the messages, we read what our ancestors have gone through, and we continue to be informed by it. And I think that this is a vital message for us to internalize before Yom Kippur, that fashions will come and go, and we are affected by the world around us. But we need to be able to tap into the eternal messages, the eternal voices, the reason really why our people have survived, why Am Yisrael Chai. And if we look, chapter 32, verse 7, Zachor Yemos Olam, remember the days of the days gone by, Binu Shanos Dor Vador, reflect upon the years of one generation to another. Sha'al avicha v'yageidcha. Ask your father and he will tell you. Zekeinecha v'yomru lach. Your elders and they will inform you. And I think that this is something that we need to keep at the forefront of our thought process, at the forefront of what we value. And these are not attitudes and fads that will change with the weather in the UK at the moment. Very, very unpredictable and changeable. But we are linking into something that has been for eternity. And again, this is another way that we can really achieve life. We can really learn from the life of Moshe Rabbeinu and translate that into our own lives as we are approaching Yom Kippur of this coming year. And the concept of continuity, which is such a vital concept in our personal lives, in our national lives. And if we look at the verse of 46, chapter 32, 46, and we see this is Moshe Rabbeinu's concluding words. Vayomer alehem, and he said to them, Simu levavchem lechol hadvarim asher anochi me'id bachem. Place your hearts on all the words and all the, we could say all the things that I'm referring to, asher anochi me'id bachem, that I am bearing witness for you today, hayom, asher tetzavem es benechem, that you will command them to your children, lishmar la'asos es kol divrei haTorah hazos, to be careful to perform all the words of this Torah. And I think that this is something, again, as we are reflecting on our personal stories, our personal fates, this is something that we need to have at the forefront of our mind, that we are links in a chain, and we are trying to make the ensuing links the strongest that they possibly can be. And the Seder of Haazinu, Moshe Rabbeinu, is giving us the tools. He is giving us the warnings. He is referring us back to history. And he is giving us the important message that when things become easy, and we have this pasuk, Vayishman Yeshurun Vayivot, and this is in this week's Seder as well, that chapter 32, verse 16, verse 15. And this is the idea that when the challenges are no longer there, then we can forget, we can lose our way, we can become complacent, we can get so comfortable that we forget what's really important. And this is a central part of the message of this week's Sedra, a central part of the message of of Moshe Rabbeinu's final day. And I think that we can look at this concept of chapter 32 as well. The numerical value, the way that it is written in Hebrew, the number 32 is lamed vet. And this is also the word because numbers and letters are the same characters in Lashon HaKodesh, in the Holy Tongue. And the leiv, the words, the letters lamed and base make leiv, and that is heart. And I think that this Sedra, Chapter 32, Leiv, is really going to the heart of the matter. And we can also reflect upon the fact that these two letters, Lamed and Base, are the two. Base is the letter with which the Torah begins, Bereshis bara Elokim, that we will start reading on Simchas Torah after we say V'zos HaBracha. We will immediately start to read Bereshis, even though the actual Sedra will be the following Shabbat. But the Torah starts with the letter Bet, and it ends with the letter Lamed, the word Yisrael. And so there is this, within this chapter, the all-encompassing nature of the Torah that we are being referred to. And when the temple was standing, this Sedra of Haazinu was actually read every Shabbat by the Leviim, and they would divide this into 6 sections, and they would say one section every week over a period of 6 weeks. And in this way, the Sedra of Haazinu is something that stays with us for the whole year. So it is at a uniquely propitious time. It is a unique Sedra. And I think that as we really internalize the incredible dedication of Moshe Rabbeinu throughout every stage of his life, from when he becomes a leader at the age of 80 till 120, which he is at this particular point, and his unwavering dedication to Bnei Yisrael. And this is something that we must use to inspire us. And we also have to connect Moshe Rabbeinu to the very first Yom Kippur, because when he comes down at the end of the third set of 40 days with the second tablets, the second luchot, then this is the sign that the Bnei Yisrael have been forgiven for the sin of the Egel Hazahav, the golden calf. And when we are reflecting on this incredible Mesirut Nefesh, this incredible dedication and devotion throughout his whole career as a leader, but especially on this day of Yom Kippur, and reflecting on the time in his life when Moshe Rabbeinu is saying this song of Haazinu, then we have so much that we can take with us as we go into Yom Kippur to really give us the focus for our lives and really bring out the best in ourselves as individuals and let that radiate outwards to everybody around us. Wishing everybody a tzom kal, a good fast, an easy fast, a meaningful Yom Kippur, and a very blessed year that follows. Thank you very much for listening.